Right, BLT, use an actual good thick cut bacon instead of the crappy little see-through sheets.
Yes, we will open the regular session for the order of business. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed? No, there's one error. Motion to approve minutes, October 14th, not printed.
Anybody been up to that new restaurant up at Grundy?
So, is there a motion to approve the agenda with the correction
What's that?
of the 14th, October 14th?
I think it's Mean Jeans.
Ted made the motion. Is
Mean
there a
Jeans.
second?
It's right where that Chad's Pizza used to be.
Oh,
Yep.
or no,
Roll call, Craig.
No, it's
Ted,
in Grundy.
Mike, Pam, Devin. The agenda has been approved
They just
as
opened.
printed with
Anyway, they're
corrections.
supposed to have a breakfast buffet.
We don't have a deputy sheriff, so we'll skip that for the moment. If you would like to review the minutes, please, and indicate any edits. If there are none, the chair will entertain a motion and second to approve the minutes.
I just have resident concerns on Ed's. The camper ordinance may help hurt people who need a helping hand at times. We want to get help out of there, or however.
That's all.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Pam has made a motion, is there a second? Devin, roll call vote, Craig. Ted. Mike. Pam. Devin. Minutes of the October 14th, 2024 meeting have been approved with one correction. Please review the financial report for October. If you have any questions, please ask. And if there are none, the chair will entertain a motion and a second to approve the financial report. What is the status of lost funds? Is there any possibility of losing those?
No. They
They're already
collect how
lost.
much there is within the county, and then it's divided up amongst who has those lost.
Punt for the whole family.
Now, the county, it did not pass, right? So it would be like anything from Green Mountain, individuals that's out in the country. I don't think they like Schmitty's, when he was having his repair shop. Steve Brash with his gun shop. You know, any of those type of people, we only know each other 6%. So there's not a lot out there, it may be a little bit, but I wouldn't think much.
So those are not in jeopardy at all at this point?
No, we'll still get lost funds, I'm just not sure what will occur with the amount. And I can't imagine it'll be a lot less, because there's not that many businesses out in the county.
Now, this is kind of the same, only different. There was a council meeting in Eldora, and one of the council members brought up file 781. I think it was 781. And this file 781 had him very concerned about whether this lost fund thing would keep going or the legislature would change
The
it.
state wants to take it over and be in charge. And of course, they say, oh, it won't affect anybody's. We have seen how that has not been the case after they've been promised. I can see, it's not the same people year after year. So then So Iowa League of Cities and then just cities in general have contacted many, of the lawmakers and said, no.
Yeah.
Which, it's not, places have voted that individually, so they just want to take it over and have it all over the state. Like, there's still one jurisdiction in Des Moines area that does not have it. They're just wanting to take it over.
And then if they take it over, that's gonna mean,
We'll keep getting the funds for a while.
in other words.
10 years, I expect it to be gone, because that's what they generally, they took away some of the real estate taxes, and then, we'll backfill it, well, now that's decreasing. Some towns are without backfill in 3 years, and some of them are 5. It's either 3 and 5 or 5 and 7, I can't remember, but it's going, the backfill's going away.
So in other words, don't,
If it comes back up, I will be contacting you to contact your, contact our representatives and say, no.
so that is.
County administers it now?
No, the funds actually come from the state still, because you send it in with your sales tax. So it goes into the state, and then they send it out based on what people have voted on. So for a while, Liscomb had it, but a lot of other places didn't, but somehow Liscomb ended up with a lot of money, and I remember somebody telling me that's how streets were paid.
Well, that's how trucks were bought.
That's how we got our streets done.
And so, I'm not sure how that all played out.
Now, does every town get it?
No, we were the only one in Washington County voted
Ben
in.
did, but I think everybody,
I think
every
now.
town,
Cent sales
every
tax.
town in the county, I think now has it. It's just now the unincorporated areas.
So every town in Marshall County does get some sort of a.
Right.
We got it for 3 years.
So they put up for vote again, so.
Yeah, then it come up for vote, then they,
And then
Same way with
everybody-
Beaman did the same thing in Grundy County.
yeah.
And they passed that tax law, just like they did here. And nobody else, no other towns passed it, so Beaman got all of it, just like Liscomb did back when we got our streets.
It was actually sold that way so that people would vote for it, the fact that that 1 cent was voluntary. All you guys don't need to it, if you want it, you can vote for it. But cities like ours, if Marshalltown voted for it, we were paying it. You were paying it, if you were spending any money, you were paying it.
Why not reap the benefits?
Why not reap the benefits? And that's basically that's why we ended up where we are now, where everybody pretty much, it's a voluntary tax that the government pretty much tells you you're gonna have.
I'll make a motion to approve the finance report.
Is there a second? Mike, roll call vote. Craig? Ted?
Yes.
Mike? Pam?
Yes.
Devin? Please review the bill. Oh, the financial report for October has been approved as printed. Please review the bills for October.
So those fuel tanks came in a little bit under what we thought they were going to, right? Because didn't we think 10? Is that what we,
We went in to cover some of the other expenses.
okay,
Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
we added the 10 to cover like the electrical,
okay.
which I'm sure that's gonna cover it. And these did come in a little bit more because he didn't add in the hoses and the nozzles.
Oh.
So you gotta have those.
Generator maintenance, did we do?
Once a year they come.
Just once a year deal?
Once a year they do that.
guess they divided on other people, other than like, 'cause it wasn't that much, what I thought it would be. The trip charge. I'll make a motion to accept the bills.
Pam has made a motion, is there a second?
Yep.
Devin, roll call vote, Craig? Ted?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Devin, bills have been approved as printed. Residents' concerns?
Justin Love, 201 State Street, for anybody that don't know already. I'm gonna speak a little bit about the camper ordinance. I don't know where that's going or what the deal is with it, but just some things I'd like everybody to consider. And I hope nobody gets offended, because I had to write this stuff pretty quick. It's just kind of how I feel about it. Every time an ordinance is passed, the city is taking something away from everybody. Just because it doesn't affect you or me right now, doesn't mean it won't affect any of us later. With the camper ordinance, the city is going to make it harder for me to repair my old house. There are a lot of old houses in town. I take my rights very seriously, so I have thought a little bit about this. I can't help but to ask myself how the city could come to the conclusion so hastily that this issue is worth imposing on the whole town. This issue was brought forward directly by the council, the mayor if I'm not mistaken. This leads me to believe that city business is being handled over coffee amongst friends and not at the council meeting where it belongs. That being said, the city started the procedural readings required to pass the ordinance, with only one concern presented by residents over home valuations. It was quickly debunked. All other concerns are addressed with existing ordinances. These readings are intended to be used to gauge public support. To this date, there is overwhelming support from citizens in attendance of these readings against this measure. With all this in mind, it is hard not to draw the conclusion that in the case of several members of the council, that if this measure were to pass, it would have been decided before public comment had ever been heard. Council meetings are where city business should be done, in full view of and in participation with its citizens, not amongst council members and their friends. If someone or a group of people want to impose an ordinance on the whole town, they should be able to address it in the company of their neighbors and have a real, reasonable conversation about it, so that the result ends in the best interest of everyone involved, which is everyone in town. And if someone is going to get the short end of the stick, there should be a very good reason. Not just a minor inconvenience for someone or their friends. At this time, there are no indications that Liscomb is going to turn into a campground. But this measure does complicate alternative living arrangements in the case of a remodel project. And then anyone that says all you have to do is ask is ignoring the fact that you could very well be denied. If this council is willing to override the voices of their citizens simply because they don't want to see it happen, how are we to assume that this will be allowed in the future? That's not you guys. Anybody could be on this council any number of years from now. How many other rights are we going to give up just to appease a few people who don't like what they see next door? There are already ordinances on the books in the case of any real serious issues. And this town in my opinion, is in pretty good shape as it is. Now, I can see, you know, things coming up and issues that need to be addressed, but we already have ordinances on the books that could address any of the issues that were brought up, other than the fact that we just don't like seeing it. I mean, there's the tax issues, but anybody want to pay more taxes? Because I'm not in that camp, you know, as far as driving people. I mean, you can't just tear down these old houses and rebuild. Nobody's got the money for that, you know. Why make it harder for people coming here to work on these properties? You know, you're just gonna drive people away from it. And these places need fixed up. And if I gotta do my foundation on that house, I'd like to at least have the option to pull a camper in there and stay in it while I'm doing it, you know? I mean, I'm not looking to live in no camper either. I don't even own a camper, but every time an ordinance is passed, we're taking something away from everybody in this town. And even though it doesn't affect you right now, it will affect somebody sooner or later. And that's all. Thanks.
Other residents concerned?
Hank Miller, 308 State Street, just up the street, just to make sure that, that you got the other half here. Yes, property values are a concern, quality of life is a concern. To be proactive on these ordinances is the difference between allowing a pedophile to move in and live next door to you and have the opportunity to interface with my 4-year-old granddaughter, or having an ordinance in place that prohibits that, because passing it afterwards doesn't allow you an enforcement strategy. So by ignoring this housing issue, this potential housing issue, you set yourself up for issues in the future, which I would just as soon not see. Okay, so I obviously am in favor of passing a housing-related ordinance prohibiting living in campers on a permanent basis. Now, the other alternative to that, as I might suggest, is that if you get a hold of our city engineer, who runs our water and sewer system, and tell her that that any one of us could park a camper and connect up to the local sewer, I'll be willing to bet that she'll shut you down. And that may very well be an avenue. And maybe that's what we look at. Maybe we look at, like was mentioned, maybe we look at the real issue, and that potential issue is an issue with our sewer. Okay, so maybe we prevent that rather than an ordinance that says you can't live in your camper, can't live in a camper as a permanent residence. Maybe you can't hook up campers to the existing water and sewer system. Maybe that's an alternative. Okay, less restrictive. That way, if somebody is actually with a living arrangement that's required by that on a short-term basis for an upkeep, then maybe they figure out how to handle their sewer and water scenario. Once again, looking at our sewer system. Gosh, we've had trouble with our sewer system. And that was one of, if you guys remember when we were looking at a dump station here in town, that was one of the issues that she brought up, was the fact that dumping those chemicals, not to mention the fact that an RV's sewer system is not designed for continuous discharge into a sewer system like ours. Okay, so you're just asking for trouble there. So maybe that would be a good compromise.
It's a separate issue. I mean,
Maybe that would be a good compromise to that. Separate issue. We haven't forgot about John Fry's tree issue, I hope. Just want to make sure that we don't that doesn't drift off into the stratosphere anywhere. It's my opinion that the city is responsible for that, and as such should pay for it. Okay, if there are previous issues that the city should have been held responsible for, maybe the city should cover that too. Okay.
far back do you go on something like that?
I don't, how old are you?
Far as you can prove, maybe? I mean,
Not to worry about that part, but it's within the last 15 years.
I can remember a derecho where I covered some costs that potentially could have been cities. I remember a storm that come through before that, and I remember that being $2,500 associated with a tree. Once again, Mother Nature caused it, but it was a tree that was on city property that someone near and dear to me could have charged the city, but chose not to. So just because it hasn't been right for all this time doesn't mean that if something occurs now that we can't fix it. Okay, so this idea of how far we go back, I don't think holds water.
I took them down, I paid for them, you know. simple
So
as
did
that.
I.
Said and done and so over with.
Bingo. I agree with you. I'm right there with you, buddy. Okay. Okay. That's all I've got. Thanks, you guys. Thank you.
Any other residents' concerns?
can I say something real quick just about that issue? If I may. I believe, the way it sounds, that, this is a service that's, rendered by the city to take care of these trees. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good idea. I think this was apparently set up some long time ago to be a service for the residents, and I think it's a good thing. I think we need more trees, and I think that, you know, that the city should cover the cost of dead trees once they, extend past their lifespan or something happens to them, you know. I mean, they live 50, 100 years most of the time. If one gets blown down, I don't see why the city would balk at that, really, myself. I think it's a good thing, you know.
Are the other residents concerned?
Yeah, Ed Burrows, 208 Sherman Street. The comparing the sex offender issue with the camper issue is a false equivalency. You can't put an ordinance in to exclude people, because if you could, I would be all for it. But the camper issue, more than just pedophiles, could fall on hard times and need an affordable option to stay somewhere. The whole point of moving to a town like Liscomb with no businesses, no services, it's a half an hour to go get groceries, it's a 20-minute round trip to go get gas, it's a 15-minute response time for emergency vehicles. The whole point of moving to a town this small and this isolated is few regulations, freedom, a neighborly community, low property values, low taxes, and here we are trying to restrict people's freedoms to do with what their property so that we can make it more expensive and exclude the most vulnerable among us. It is a solution in search of a problem. As for the hooking up a camper sewage to the sewage system, you don't just hook it up so it free flows. You hook it up, and then when you need to drain, you drain it. Water usage living in a camper will be the same water usage living in a home. So when you flush it, you flush the ick, and then you flush the gray water, which rinses everything down. So I don't understand the worry there. It's a solution in search of a problem. And there are so many more issues that the community could focus time and effort and resources on. That's it, that's all I got.
Thank you. Old business, number 1 is the first reading of ordinance 127, adding a new section limiting the use of occupied recreational vehicles. We read it last month. Does it need to be read again? You have it in front of you.
We need to read it for the guests that we have, so
Sure.
they can.
That'd be fine.
Being enacted by the City Council of the City of Liscomb, Iowa, Section 1, new section. Code of Ordinances of the City of Liscomb, Iowa is amended by adding a new section, 69.12, occupied recreational vehicles. which is hereby adopted to read as follows. 69.12, occupied recreational vehicles. Occupied recreational vehicles may be parked and occupied on property no longer than 14 consecutive days of continuously occupying, living in, or using a recreational vehicle with a maximum of 28 days total in a calendar year. Additional days may be approved by contacting council to request a variance. Section 2, repealer. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 3, severability clause. If any section, provision, or part of this ordinance shall be adjudged invalid or unconstitutional, such adjudication shall not affect the validity of the ordinance as a whole, or any section, provision, or part thereof not adjudged invalid or unconstitutional. This ordinance shall be in effect from and after its final passage, approval, and publication as provided by law.
Discussion.
So what's the base need of this still?
So what?
So what's the main need for this still? Why do we make this? Again, I'm just looking for a good reason. 'Cause I'm not opposed to ordinances if there's a good reason. I'm genuinely trying to understand why this is a problem. Why has it come up?
Well, we've had this problem before. And like I said before, if you don't have this in the ordinance, somebody can buy a property and live in a trailer, a camper the rest of the time. The town gets no taxes for that.
I mean, taxes off the land.
Yeah.
Very, very minimal.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So
I
there's
can
a
deal
lot
with
of
that.
issues with that. And we also said, if you're gonna, just like Justin said, he might have to replace his, you think we're gonna tell him no, that he cannot do that and live in a camper for the time it takes him to replace that? Because he's already got the house there, he's paying taxes. That's my biggest issue.
So it all comes down to a tax issue for you.
Well, for me it is, yeah.
Okay.
And we have one in town right now doing that.
So what,
And we discussed this several years ago, and I don't know why it didn't get followed up. You know, ordinances are made, and Justin always comments that the town looks pretty good. It's because we have ordinances. And even though we have ordinances, look at our Dubuque Street, how long it took us to get rid of that. Now, did you like that, being neighbors to it?
Not
Or did it
particularly,
bother you?
but it didn't bother me a whole lot.
Okay, but I'm just
Cause I
telling
can
you,
walk by and not
there's
pay no
certain things
attention.
about ordinances that are good.
It took care of itself though, Ted. We got the ordinances on the books.
Yeah.
It's done.
What ordinance
Finally,
did
we
we
didn't
not
get
have?
no different ordinance than we had.
How do you think it's gonna go with a
So
camper?
look how long it's gonna take. Even though you have ordinances in place, it still takes us a long time. Okay, somebody has a junk vehicle, been there for a long time. We send them a letter, okay. Send them a letter, they don't move it, they don't do this. And then you get the sheriff involved. You gotta send them another notice, a second notice, and then they move the car a little ways. And it sits there for another 30-some days. I'm just saying, I grew up in a junkyard. I don't mind junk cars, but I think as a town's consideration, I think, you gotta consider that stuff. So sometimes a strict putting I think this add-on is very good. Besides the taxes and whatever, it's,
Do you want
we're
somebody?
not trying to stop somebody from having their family come in and live with them a while. But now, who's gonna live there much longer than 14 days and 28 days out of the year? We don't have a problem right now much with it. We had one before, I guess, but
I mean,
So how's it,
I'm just saying, I think it's very good. It's a very good,
do we want
that's my opinion.
each other driving around, looking to see if somebody's staying in their camper? I mean, do we want people looking for these things, you know, in order to come up here and bring to you guys and to go through all these processes that really
So
take all
who's
this
doing
time?
that? Who's doing that?
I'm just asking, that's where we're going with these
That's
things.
where we're going. Oh, since we passed an ordinance, we're gonna drive
no, he's
around.
asking, like,
No,
is that
no,
what we
no.
wanna get to, or we're just checking?
We're not getting to that.
If the public is going around telling everybody,
Yeah,
the
it's,
people in the
you're
town.
the only, you and Ed are the only, you know, if you'd have brought the whole town in here and they'd have said, we don't want this ordinance, that would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it?
We had a pretty good group, about as big as I've seen in a while, the first time this was brought up, and it was pretty clear where it stood by the time of that, end of that discussion.
But wouldn't we rather be proactive than reactive?
I mean,
What happens if
you could pass any number of things that could happen, but is that how we wanna
Well, if you
live?
don't have an ordinance, yeah, you can.
But
So
you could
what
pass that
happens if the
ordinance
guy-
next week if you had to, if there was an actual issue. You could pass an ordinance if there was
But
an
if they're
issue.
already there, you can't do anything about it.
Did we ever figure out if this is gonna affect voucher up there if we pass it?
I'm sure
Because-
not.
Because at one point, we wanted to talk to
It's
a lawyer.
passed on this day, so
No.
I rather
It's
doubt,
passed
I
on
rather
this.
doubt.
Oh, I
it's
did not know
passed
he
on.
passed.
No,
No,
the
no.
ordinance
Oh,
is
I was gonna
passed.
say, geez,
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
ordinance is passed on this day.
what about it?
Well,
Then
that's
it'll
what
be
it
from-
says.
Then it'll be from this
This
day
day
forward.
Okay, 2 months ago, we didn't know if we could, if it was gonna affect him or not.
That we was gonna ask the lawyer, but we
Yeah.
don't have a lawyer. right
I
now.
understand that, that's why I was asking if we needed to wait for the lawyer. We're waiting on the lawyer on what, half a dozen other things.
Mr. Love, I just want to bring to your attention that the people who brought this forward to me was not, I did not bring this issue up myself. People came to me expressing a desire for this ordinance. And after it did not pass last month, the same people came to me again to ask that it be on the agenda tonight.
Can I ask how come they're not here to address everybody's
They need to
concerns?
be here.
Yes, they should be.
We should all participate,
They
especially if
should
you want something.
participate.
I'm here and I'm
Wait
not
a
asking
second
for
here,
anything.
point of order here. You people are here. We elected those people, and those are our representatives.
Okay.
Hey, you want something that goes against the popular opinion of the town? Put a stop sign on State Street.
Yeah?
Put a stop sign on State Street. How many people did we have at the meeting then? Holy crap, more than the people that voted for me
If
when I was
you
mayor.
really care about something that much, that it needs to be addressed,
You
you
should be able
should
to
be
do it
able to
yourself.
come up here and stand in front of your peers and tell it how it is for you.
That's what I
That
asked.
Okay,
is
so
what
that's,
I feel.
that's the
Okay.
process the
That's
way
it.
that
Point
you
of
feel.
order.
No, that's why we have the
Point of
reading of
order.
the ordinance.
Point of order.
Good.
Is there a motion?
I would like a motion to
Hold on,
approve this.
hold on for just a minute. Since just hold on for a second.
I just make a motion to approve.
I still
this
wanted to talk before
127.
she kept doing the point of order. I'm obviously going to lose this, and that's fine, I'm outnumbered. In my opinion, it should be more days than this, though. Okay, like, I do believe, I'm not saying 100 days even, like 60 days or something like that. That is my true opinion.
So 2 months.
Yeah, it's just 2 months in the summertime, but that's not that long. That's my opinion, because I know I'm gonna lose this, and that is what it is. But I really don't think that's enough time.
I thought we voted that camper deal out.
We voted to,
It was a tie.
it was a tie. Yeah.
I thought that dropped.
You can bring it back.
Right. I still got something to say, Mike. I'm not done. I don't understand why I can't just say my
Well, it
last
seems like
bit.
last time you made a motion when we were all talking in the middle of it. too,
Okay,
right?
but I let you keep talking. That's just
I'm a-
my opinion.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Mike has made a motion to
Approve ordinance.
approve ordinance, no, to accept the reading. Accept the first reading of ordinance 127. Is there a second?
Second.
Ted seconded. Roll call vote. Craig?
Yeah.
Ted,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
Devin. Okay. Discussion on nuisances, are there any?
Oh, probably.
Do you have one?
No, I figured you did.
Why would I have one?
I don't know, because there's always a problem around this town, so.
Thank you.
I think last minute's read there was no nuisance report.
Can we get the camper and the trailer moved out of the alley behind the bar?
Here we go.
Is it in the alley?
Is
Yes.
it in the alley?
There was
Yes.
no vendetta or no.
If I had to shut the water off that building, I can't shut it off if he's parked over it.
That's the problem.
If you wanna go measure 100 foot, make the sidewalk in front of the building back, half that camper in the alley.
Well, we do have an ordinance for that, right? I don't know what exactly the ordinance
Why not
says.
do
Well,
For alleys and,
then I meant, if it's not gonna get moved, I'm not gonna plow it.
well, you
Because there's
can't.
always a big snowdrift right in there,
You can't, for
so.
fear of hitting the camper, right?
Half the time you got the slide out. Because they're limited.
Because they're limited.
His boy was, unless he went back to jail. So,
Maybe you just want me to send a letter to him first.
Is that the agreement? Send a letter?
Send a letter.
Is there anything else on that topic? Okay, we had, city attorney options. We've contacted one, Caldwell and Briarly out of Newton. You've got a piece of paper in front of you. Christie, have you had any other possibilities? We, asked them to come tonight, but they were not able to. We've asked them to come in for the December meeting. I don't know, this is just a possibility. They have, Brooklyn, Gilman, Lambs Grove, Malcolm, Maxwell, Monroe, Montezuma, Sully, and Valeria, as well as Newton and Grinnell. So they're obviously into municipalities. We probably will not have a very fast response time from them.
Come up here, Dennis.
Do you want them to go ahead and, if we can get them to come in December, do you want them to come and visit with us?
I don't have anybody do that for me.
Okay.
We need to get some more knowledge on this.
Oh, we got that vote.
Hope we can get it, you know.
See, and they've got to accept us, so, yeah, that one's coming.
Christie, if you find anybody else, we could have, literally have, that's what Gilman did. Gilman brought in 3 on the same night, and they interviewed them all. And, then they kind of, I think LeGrand did the same thing too. I don't know that LeGrand has anybody yet. So, they were,
Would Gilman be good enough to send us their questions?
oh, sure, I can ask them. It's like what they asked them.
Yeah.
Are you ready for magistrate judge?
Yeah, yeah, really. Do you expect to have this job tomorrow?
Who's the Eldora city attorney?
Ben Cutler, I think.
Who?
Ben Cutler from across the street, but they won't take him.
Oh,
I've tried him, but yeah.
does Whitten have anybody yet?
They're looking at somebody, she's $300 an hour.
This one is, what this one
Well,
says?
this is that
This one wasn't that much.
225 for out of court and 180 for legal assistance.
Which he doesn't does most of it. He probably could have sent me more.
Okay, well, we'll try to get him here for the next meeting, see what we can do, see if we can move ahead on this. Okay, number 4, building maintenance bids.
We also have.
Maintenance building bids.
We also have the bid for the electrical for that building.
Those, they're both on that same
It's the
copy
bottom
sheet.
one.
So let's start with the building bid first. We looked at these last time, didn't we? Are these the same ones?
We just did it in on the electrical.
And then if you look at the Hawkins sheet, the Hawkins's bid is, for the wiring for the new shed is $6,200.
That's for the new shed.
That's for the shed. What, so Darwin, what's that include? 6 LED 4-foot strip, what, strip light?
6 lights, 3 switches, probably a half dozen plug-ins,
Says
4 plug-ins,
And one light on the outside.
and a light on the outside.
Will it light up the fuel tanks?
No.
I know, but we can have something to light up the fuel tanks. Better put a light up those.
Yeah, but I want the
That seems excessive.
security light up when it comes
It's
out.
all expensive.
But we're getting a second bid still?
We did try to get another bid, which I thought it was gonna be in on Friday.
He told us we'd get that.
Yeah.
Is that what it's for the shed and the field? I mean.
Second bid.
Second bid.
See if we did on both of those?
And that's that one,
Yes,
did?
we did ask.
Okay.
I hadn't bid on both buildings.
Okay. Both,
The
okay.
bill.
The barrels and the, okay. Well, I just want to make sure, it seems like we're going through this lost money quickly. And I just want to make sure we don't get ourselves in a bind.
I don't know, the electrical part of it, you're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, but I think I would feel better if we had another bid, wouldn't you?
Well, how many have you had on
Just
He's got one so
it?
far.
Yeah.
Both been one in today, but it didn't, we didn't get it.
Someone suggested getting a bid from Webb Electric.
Did you get hold of them?
No, I didn't do anything on it.
Well, I've been at them.
Okay.
They started out on it.
They did, oh, is that who was originally on the
That's
project?
who originally was when we,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll gladly call Webb and ask them to come. They never got it finished, did they?
what?
That bid
No,
for the first set of tanks
no.
that we, yeah, okay. All right.
I don't know what happened there. But he come up twice,
Webb did?
yeah.
Oh, okay. So he should be able to do that pretty quick.
Well, he's got all the stuff down there.
For the building too.
No, I didn't have, yes, I did too. I think I had him for the building too.
Oh, so they should be able to get that bid. So what's your thinking on the building?
Well, can I throw these all together? So we're gonna do 17,000 on the Lucas. How much on the pickup?
Depends on how much the city wants to put towards, out of just general fund.
Okay,
Which they've got.
Do they
Yeah,
know a
30.
quote on that yet?
Well, Ben was gonna come. He did get a quote that was
Have they ordered it?
I'm working on it. And I'll-
So we have 3,500 that's in the fire,
35,000.
yeah, 35,000, that's what I meant. It's already in our truck
It's
fund.
in your reserve, yeah.
Yeah, here's your fire reserve.
Yeah.
I think they ended up getting a bid from Carl's also, and it was cheaper. And, they bring the truck they want.
So he was gonna bring them bids today, or?
Yeah, he was gonna talk about that, and then, running the man. And then it's set up to run.
So are we putting the building on hold until we get another set of bids? Is that kind of what I'm hearing? Till we
The
get
wiring?
electrical bids?
Yeah, put it on hold.
Good.
And the building we're looking at, I think we discussed this grams, there's 32,000 down below 37,405. What am I looking at 32 or 37,005? Or 37,405? We know what the difference is? 32, okay.
So that's the building itself?
Yeah.
And then electrical, both of these electrical will come out of lost.
No, part of the electrical will come out of road use.
Okay, so like take it in half pretty much.
So split that, if we took a total on those two, I mean, what we have right now, if we took a total of what, 12, roughly 12, and 6 would come out of road use? Or is it just the shed coming out of road use?
I have into the shed coming out of road use.
So what's coming, the electrical for the
For the
barrels,
barrels,
half of it's coming out of road use?
yeah.
And the truck we're still looking at. So we got 55,000 coming out of lost plus the truck.
Does the truck come out of lost, or does it come out of general?
Well, part of the truck. will
Part of
come
the
out.
truck will come out of lost. But that's still $50,000 left in there. And you've got to spend on, I mean, these are not things that are gonna go away in the next 5 years if they don't have insurance. Out of all those things, you know, if the Lucas device becomes obsolete, I don't know, but I don't know how it would. As long as it's still running, it's not attached to the internet or, you know, that type of thing, so that should last a long time.
So that grand total is that, it's 32,000 or it's 37,405?
I think it's the 32, if I understood when we first got the bill. Because he took some stuff
Yeah,
out
we-
of it.
Got somebody else to dig the hole, he doesn't have to rent a machine.
So it's down to 32?
Was that what he said?
That's what's the
That's what
bottom
we got
number
the
on
bottom
here.
line.
Yeah, 37,405 is, the typewritten, and then he's got 32,000 under it with a circle around it.
So we can get somebody else to dig the hole and all that, we don't have to pay $1,500.
He took 1,400 out.
This is a 40 by 45 building.
We can go ahead and build a building, not have electricity, so we get build electricity.
Well, just in my opinion, I'd rather see a new building put up. How old are those buildings down there? The one came from the county.
Yeah, that's back in the 50s. That's in good shape, yeah.
How about the other one?
So it's okay.
Good for cold storage.
It was put in back in the 70s, 60s.
So the building right now with Hawkins' bid is roughly 38,200, somewhere in that.
Out of lost, is what you're talking about.
No, I'm just talking about a total.
Oh,
With the
With
Hawkins bid
Hawkins
on the
bid.
electric.
yeah.
Is roughly 38,200.
I can't see where he comes up with that much
I can't either.
for the wiring.
I can't either.
Seems like a lot. The gas one will be different because all
It's got
that's
that
gotta be
big,
sealed up, you know, all your
it's got
stuff
that blue
has to be
exposed through
sealed,
pipe.
so there's no exposure to any, you know, there's no light switch, you know, turn on, like having a spark, or that's all.
That's
So
all.
that's gonna cost,
That's what cost, explosion proof pipe.
yeah, that's gonna be,
They
Shut
said,
off switch.
they said 2 gaskets or 2 seals are $600 each to do that. Okay, so go back to this maintenance building bid. So we're sitting on that until we get a second bid on electrical, is that correct?
We can build a building.
we could build a building.
Yeah.
without that.
I'm gonna keep holding off on that, I'm gonna hold that price. And how long, is this the price we've had for how long?
Prices went down, but now, I don't know if prices went back up anything or not.
We had it this last month, so it may not be good.
20.
What color siding is that?
So, they're colored.
What color do you want?
Well, I would say something to match the other two, but it's not gonna happen. Stripe it.
Well, if we see a grain bin sprayer come through next year, we'll have to paint the county shed.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I don't know, I think about just building that building now, I still somewhat
Well,
warm.
does he even have, I know he's booked. Would he even be able to get this done before winter?
It's like last winter, he said he'd work right on through. But he said it ain't gonna take long to put this building up, since there ain't nothing there. I mean, it's just all, no windows, just 2 doors.
So am I hearing that you want to proceed?
You making a motion there?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
All right, Craig made the motion to proceed with the, which bid?
Building, 32.
Graham's Construction, is that correct? For 32,000. Now, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mike seconded. Roll call vote. Craig?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Pam?
Yes.
Devin? Okay, so then we'll get a bid from Webb on the electrical work for the building.
If I can get Webb and Kudrow,
Kruko.
that'll be 3 bids for electrical.
Okay. Now, next item is the gas tank electrical bids. I know Darwin's wanting to get that going.
Well, we can put gas in it, all I gotta do is put plug-ins on the tank. Run a drop cord out there.
No.
It's real legal.
No, it ain't.
What?
Not illegal.
Until they find the farmers.
Well, if you plug it in at the pump first, and then you'll
Yeah.
plug it in at the other one.
So,
I wouldn't do the gas one,
what do you want to do on this bid for the gas?
Well, if you're gonna hold off on one, just hold off on the other.
Okay.
and get
Get one.
3 bids on all of them.
So you want to hold off on this until the December meeting?
Until it's known 3 foot deep. If somebody go to
Do
Elton,
you want to have a special meeting as soon as we get these bids to get this taken care of?
Well, I think he's gonna need, I mean, fuel in case we do get some bad weather.
It's coming.
Did we get fuel put in the tank yet?
No.
We haven't contracted no fuel yet, right?
I think we're gonna contract that.
No. Yeah,
I don't think we
Well, I
I don't
mean,
wanna-
you can call
Oh,
different
yeah.
places, yeah.
No,
I mean,
they're all the same price.
Can we have a special meeting as soon as we get these?
because that way you can get the blended fuel when you need it for the
Yeah.
diesel.
All right, let's see if we can get these
He's
bids,
gonna take care of all the fuel, the blended, not blended.
see if we can get these bids in the next week, and we'll call a special meeting so we can get this done.
Okay, bids for,
The
Electrical.
the electrical
Electrical for the
wiring for the
building.
gas tanks. Oh, I wasn't so worried about
Yeah,
that.
that would need to be.
But I mean, if we have them for the building, we can do that too.
Not a lot.
Okay, new business, tree removal.
For that. Like, what do you do?
Says consider tree removal.
Like, you're wanting to consider moving them from, the dead ones that are already dead, or
That he would brought up.
just the ones Healy is, or are they the only dead ones that we, were there more than what Healy brought up?
What do you say?
heaven just.
Yeah, there's
So, what, we need to get a quote on all the ones that are dead that need to come down?
You've got one at Healy, you've got two switchers up there along the road. You got two over there, you got one in the alley over
There
here.
again, do we have to make sure that we're not going on private property to take these down?
Or not, they're on side, outside the sidewalk. Well, then two across from Mike, they're bad shape. That's what your shade trees. Stumps.
So we're talking about how many trees do we think? 10?
I think six.
All right,
6.
There's one on North Street.
Or that
I
much.
think on the Brown's lot there.
Is that inside the property line?
I'm
There
pretty sure it
again,
is.
We need a lawyer to tell us exactly.
The lawyer can't tell you if it's inside or outside.
They can't tell us the property line, where the property line is?
You want the
Go
website?
online,
Oh,
it'll
I
say
see.
right where it's at.
Go on the
Assessor's is
website.
very close.
what'd you talk about last month, topping them? And then, what were you gonna do?
Oh, he was wanting to top them out, then,
Right,
We haul
yeah.
right.
them. We haul
So we're not taking them clear down, we're just topping them?
them. I would take them clear down. There ain't no sense talking about and then leaving the stump there.
Well, I think that's basically what he wanted.
Yeah, 'cause that way you didn't have to worry about nothing falling on them.
So do we want two guys to come and look at these? Because you could,
If you wanna get bids.
you could be talking $10,000 or more, right?
Well,
If you go to St. Anthony, you will.
Oh, yeah, we can. So who do you want bids from?
You get Ledford. What's the name now again?
Solar.
I don't think they're doing business anymore, are they?
Yeah,
Gil
you're still
Gil
doing it.
is.
He is still, Gil is?
Yeah, the other one gets out.
Yeah.
Is Johnson?
I don't know that he's bonded,
Yeah, he was bonded.
was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he's got a truck now. Get up there. I'll ask him.
And can you get a list of where all these trees are and?
John Fry knows a guy that's reasonable.
Ledford, that's
was
his name.
John Fry, the guy that John Fry?
That was
Ledford.
Oh, okay,
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
Ledford is on mine.
Top on.
Yeah,
You guys get pictures of
That's-
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're usually 3 times.
Ledford did all mine.
He does mine
Huh?
down.
How do we do about John?
It's not on the agenda. Okay, so we're gonna get bids on tree removal.
Yeah.
Fire department pickup purchase.
They've started the process, I don't know what happened there. They started the process with Carl's. They came in the cheapest. Sounded like it was another bid that they hadn't gotten.
So if he happened to have this bid, when we have our bid for the electrical, could we okay it then?
Yeah, he started working with it.
For the special meeting, okay.
If we had the bids for the trees at the special meeting, we could take care of that too.
Yeah, getting,
Dead trees.
Okay, are we done with that for now?
let's say,
Open burning, burn ban policies.
Ben was gonna talk about
Ben was gonna talk about that. Yeah, Marshall County, did they ever put a burn ban on?
No.
Or it was right at the end, I couldn't remember, and, yeah. But I didn't understand all of it. It's somehow the fire chiefs are the ones that determine burn bans in this county anyway. So, I don't know.
Budget, 2025 budget amendment.
When we did the budget last February, we had a plan truck in the building and the Lucas device and so, the fuel tanks, down at the bottom it says, I did throw in a little extra in case they had to pay something for the air packs. If they get the grant, they shouldn't. But I don't know when, the grant is due tomorrow, but I don't know when will be decided. So.
So do you see the highlighted at the bottom?
Yeah, I got the highlighted, I didn't know what difference it made up in here.
Well, you can tell we're going from 80
Oh, yeah.
to 28. So on public safety, the current amendment is 80,000. And we're gonna, oh, that's the increase.
That's the.
Okay, sorry. That's the increase.
And that 80 is for a Lucas machine and
And a truck.
New pickup,
And,
air packs.
and if you have just lease them on the road, basically. And that's just roughly, making it. I round up, because you never know what comes up.
the public works, and that's
The truck,
for truck two.
yeah, part of that is for, because the city's getting the fire department truck. So if the reasonable, yeah,
The plow will switch over really easy.
so. And then the fuel tank.
And then the cultural goes up.
Recreation, that goes up 25,000.
Well, that's the ceiling, the painting,
Oh,
That's the building.
whatever else we might do.
And then general government is an 800. And it goes up 62,000. So we need to approve this.
Well, yeah, just, and then it'll be published and we'll have a public hearing in December.
Do we need to have a motion
Um,
or no?
yeah, that's how a motion to.
So is there a motion to amend the 20, is that what we're doing?
Have a public hearing.
Have a public hearing to amend the 2025.
Right.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Also,
Roll call vote, Craig? Ted?
Yes.
Mike?
Yep.
Pam?
Yes.
Debbie? So we made a motion to have a hearing
Right.
to amend.
12/9.
and 12/9.
Yep.
You're
At
not gonna be
7,
here, so.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
I'm here
Yeah.
till.
Okay, committee reports. Fire department. We don't know anything on that. First responders, do you know anything on that?
Junior didn't have anything.
Streets and alleys, is there anything on that?
No problem.
Parks, Devin? general utilities. Anybody shut off with water?
No, everybody pays.
Oh,
They're all happy.
Fred, you want to do your sanitation report?
It looks like it's the same as it was. September usage was 11,000 gallons per day. September water flow total was 586,000 gallons, averaging 19,000 gallons per day. Imagine that.
And then we
One
have,
zero there, so.
we have a DNR report. I presume that's an annual report.
I don't know that they come every year for the inspection.
What's an NPDES permit?
That's the sewer.
Were there recommendations in this that we should be concerned about?
On the very back
Well,
page.
one of them, we think it's just that they want locks on the,
They want lots on everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rhonda talked about that once before.
well, the big concern used to be that the gate was locked, and now,
Oh, that was the gate issue.
yeah.
But now they want all the pits blocked.
Because if people are
So have we locked them before, or ever have?
Never have. You got somebody new on the thing down there again. That's the whole ball.
So that's something we need to, how many locks are you talking? It's minimal, isn't it?
3 there, 3, yeah,
Take a look at the public safety report. Pretty quiet, really.
Probably short on them since it's Veterans Day.
Does anybody have any questions on that?
It's nice to see them patrolling the streets on trick or treat night.
All right, is there anything else you brought up? Okay.
So, since we've established that we do care about the appearance because of the campers and whatnot, I do actually want to bring up with the Christmas lights about to go up every year. Half of them are not lit. And if we care about how we represent our town, those lights should be checked before they go up, or we should replace them because they look.
it ain't the lights, it's the eyes on the pole.
But again, something should be addressed. If we're gonna put them up, they should be lit. They should look nice, and it should look like we care about our town.
What were you talking about? I can't hear.
The lights, the
Christmas
Christmas
Oh,
lights.
Christmas lights.
We need to get an electrician on the poles.
We need to get new lights.
We need new eyes on the pole.
We need new lights.
Those are rather, I mean, and you could consider even seeing if people wanted to sponsor one,
That's
something like
all
that
of
to
our
help
Christmas
pay.
lights,
They
I
haven't really
should
been,
say, have been donated. I mean,
Yeah.
the funds have been donated for the Christmas lights.
Because they are, I mean, they've been the same ones since we've lived here, which is 10 years, over, actually 11. And I imagine they are, I'm just saying,
Why don't you get a
a thing together for that?
yeah,
I think
yeah.
this is
But I
more
think-
the lights I've been through.
Sounds like something the
Christie
city
used
official
to
ought to be
get-
doing.
Christie used to get, magazines for the lights.
It's just something that it would look really nice. It would,
Yeah, I
and it
think-
does look like we care about our town. I mean, you go through Albion and they have everything lit up. They have little trees on each street block. I mean, it's on Main Street. You drive by, it's very nicely.
Don't look at me,
I'm just saying.
Good point. Thank you.
but we want the big bulbs, not the little bitty bulbs.
Well, I feel
As
like
long as
those
they
ones
light.
might be hard to even find replacements for because they look rather dated.
These
They
easy-
are cool.
These are easy to find replacement bulbs.
It's just that the lights, it's electrical that doesn't work then.
It's the eye on the pole don't work.
And Alliance gotta do that, right?
No, Alliance gotta come cut the wire so we get electrician to, unless the electrician wants to do it hot.
Not me.
So do we need to get
Could
that
read up on
involved in
that,
this
couldn't you?
bid thing too?
Well, you know, I think we ought to just put all new eyes in.
I'm sorry, eyes, I like to hang it?
So when
No,
you
they're-
turn-
They're
Tell you when
what,
to
dust to
turn
dark.
Light sensors.
Oh, sensors.
Sensors.
Oh, okay, I was so confused, sorry. As we were, my bad.
Thank you.
Cam put these up the last time. He was supposed to get them refixed and everything, and that was the end of that story.
Anything else?
So,
Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Adjourn.
I'll ask him one day.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.